Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're tackling something you've almost certainly run into, maybe without even realizing it, the secret language of business advisory services. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Have you ever been in a meeting, maybe listening to a big presentation, and felt like you needed a secret decoder ring? Like everyone's speaking a language you don't quite get? Yeah, you are not alone, not by a long shot.
This corporate speak, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. For the folks on the inside, it can actually be a useful shorthand, a way to communicate complex ideas quickly. But for everyone else, the clients, the people who actually need to understand what's going on, it just muddies the waters and puts up a wall.
So why? Why does this language even exist in the first place? Is it really just about being efficient? Well, the source material we're digging into today suggests there are a couple of other more powerful reasons behind all those buzzwords. Okay, so there are two big reasons. First, it's all about creating an aura of authority. If you use big, complicated terms, you sound like you have some secret knowledge that nobody else does. And second, and this is a big one, it's a brilliant way to mask uncertainty. When you don't really have a clear solution, wrapping your ideas in jargon makes you sound way more confident than you actually are. So let's do it. Let's crack the code. We're going to give you a quick and dirty decoder for some of the biggest offenders out there, looking at what they say and what our source suggests is really being said. All right, first up, you knew it was coming. The undisputed king of all corporate jargon, synergy. Right? So they pitch it as this magical math equation, where 1 + 1 suddenly equals 3. And who doesn't love that, right? But what's really going on? Well, a lot of the time, it's just a fancy word to justify a huge merger or some mega project without, actually having to show the numbers or prove the benefits will ever appear. Okay, next one. I'm willing to bet you've heard this a dozen times, probably when everyone's trying to figure out what to do next. Let's focus on the low-hanging fruit. Now look, on the surface, this sounds totally reasonable. Grab the easy wins, get some momentum going, but, and this is a big but, what our source points out is that this can be a sneaky way to avoid the real work. You get busy with all the easy, superficial stuff, and the really tough, high-impact problems, they just get kicked down the road.
All right, moving on. What about this one? The old back-of-the-envelope calculation.
So it's sold as this clever, fast way to make decisions. We don't have time for a deep dive, let's just scribble it down. But let's be honest, what it often is guesswork. It's guesswork pretending to be analysis. It's a way to look like you're using data without actually doing the hard work of, getting the data. Ah, and the pivot. A classic from the startup world that's bled into everywhere else. It sounds so dynamic, so agile. We're pivoting in response to market feedback. But what it often really means is, oops, that last thing we tried? Total flop. So we're going to try something else now and hope you don't notice we're calling our failure a pivot. Okay, so we can laugh about this stuff, but this is really important. This isn't just a funny quirk of office life. This vague language has real-world consequences. We're talking wasted money, wasted time, and broken trust. And to show you what I mean, let's look at a case study from the source material. It all revolves around a single, seemingly harmless phrase, boil the ocean. So here's the deal. A client asks for a full, comprehensive analysis of their market. The advisory team comes back and says, whoa, let's not boil the ocean, and they narrow the scope to make it more manageable. Sounds smart, right? Focused? Well, what happened next? The client got absolutely blindsided by a competitor that was, you guessed it, left out of the analysis. That one little phrase, meant to sound wise, ended up causing a massive business failure. Yikes. Okay, so it's easy to feel a bit hopeless when you're swimming in all this jargon. But here's the good news. You are not powerless. In fact, our source gives us a fantastic, actionable playbook for cutting through all the noise. And what's great is that these tips are really straightforward, but man, are they effective. Things like just demanding plain English or asking for real-world examples. And here's the big mindset shift. Start seeing jargon as a signal. It's not a wall. It's a flashing red light telling you, hey, dig deeper here. Seriously, one of the most powerful things you can do is just repeat back what you think they said. Okay, so what I'm hearing is, and then say it in simple terms. It's amazing how it forces people to clarify their own thinking and just ditch the fluff. And this one? This is your absolute secret weapon. 4 simple words. How will we measure this? Bam. That one question completely changes the game. It takes the conversation out of the clouds of abstract ideas and grounds it in concrete, measurable reality. It forces everyone to think about what success actually looks like. So you see, this is about so much more than just being understood. Pushing for plain English, for clarity, is about driving better business outcomes. There's a real cost to jargon and a huge, tangible benefit to clarity. And when you lay it out, the difference is it's night and day. Jargon? It leads to confusion, wasted money, and broken trust. But clarity? That's where you get real collaboration. That's what drives smart decisions. That's how you build trust that lasts. And you know what? The best news of all is that things are starting to change. The tide is actually turning. Clients are getting smarter. They're tired of the fluff. They want to see real, measurable results, not just a slick slide deck. We're even seeing AI tools pop up that can sniff out and simplify jargon. The whole industry is slowly but surely shifting its focus from buzzwords to actual outcomes. And all of this really brings us to the fundamental point of this entire explainer. It's a powerful idea. Language can either hide the truth or it can reveal it. And that choice, it doesn't just belong to the person speaking. It belongs to the listener too. So now that you know the code, what are you going to do with it? See, understanding this secret language gives you the power to challenge it. And when you demand clarity, you're not just helping yourself. You're making the entire conversation better for everyone. You're forcing substance to win out over style. And really, that's how things actually get done.